Hello, welcome back to TST review. At this point, no tips and I mean, there's tips and tricks in a review, I guess. So this was submitted by Rass. He had some questions about what are some easy strats to, you know, help him live longer, or if he made good decisions or not. And so he submitted this TST to me. Um, and I looked through it, and I noticed a few common themes that he was doing. So the first one we're going to look at is in round two. And I'm just going to kind of point them out as we go. It's like a few things that you could do better to live longer and to, be more successful in TST. I think he's kind of playing like a very passive two where you stick your line next to somebody's line and then his teammate dies. So he takes this space. All of this is good. And now it's just about managing the space. And this is where he kind of goes a bit wrong. So, first off, this is like a really classic thing for beginners to do. What I want you to focus on, Rass, is mirroring this, but towards the edge. And what I mean is you should be back here, culting, looking towards the center. I say this in a bunch of my videos, but it's really important to do that. You just put your mess towards the back so you have more room to play towards the center. Because already all of this space is now occupied, and you have way less space in the center to make good turns, and you're gonna have some rough decisions afterwards. So you're doing right by culting, but it needs to be flipped. It needs to be over here. That way you can look inward. I remember something kind of rough happened there. Yeah, you had multiple deaths. I know at Panda Pizza, but you had multiple deaths where you just turned super early. Not every turn needs to be a perfect turn. You do not need to hit this wall with insanely accurate precision. So when you're going, wait until you know for a fact you're past the wall and take the turn. That's another simple strat you can do, because I looked through this game and easily it was like 5 deaths. You just took the turn going like Mach 5 speed trying to hit a perfect turn. You don't need to do that. You're good. You just wait. Just wait a little bit. Um, and then let's see, round 11 is also important to look at. Yeah. Not there wasn't too much. That wasn't just really like you had quick deaths based on those early turns. Um, so round 11 is pretty good. The line disappears there, but I also noticed like in a couple of these rounds you had lag going on, very laggy, a lot of high ping. But we see your teammate dies, and so this is good. And he dies. Then you're like, oh, I gotta stay in the zone, and I have very little space to work with. What do I do here? Is definitely what would be going through my mind if I'm in your position. Uh, and so I kind of explained this in another thing, but the the it's kind of has to be repeated for you, because I think you didn't know what to do with your space. So first is you want to put your mess to the back, but second is you have to identify your exit, because I'm going to play the clip afterwards, and you don't know that this is your exit turn, or maybe you're trying to stay in the zone for as long as possible. But you have plenty of space here to survive. So ideally, you want to either cult and use this outside space. You have to go in somehow to regain, because if you're out for 4 straight seconds, your zone gets collapsed, and then you eradicate. So you need to somehow, I don't know the term for it, but I call it like swimming, because you want to swim in and out. So I always think I'm like swimming when I'm doing that, or like how swimmers would. And then you reversed triple is something I would do, but that's pretty complex. So honestly, like the easiest way to survive this space is go straight down, cult to the side here until you have to do this, and then go here and cult here till you have to do this, and then just keep culting. And then you make your exit, and by then this line should be like right here even, I believe. And you could like go here, hit this, and start culting while you just wait to follow your line and repeat it. That's like the easiest way to do it at your skill level, because at your skill level now, I can see it's pretty difficult to do anything else. And you weren't sure how to maintain the space. I don't even know if you were sure you had a break button, because I didn't see any breaks like at all throughout all this. You had like 3 deaths where you went like Mach 5 speed trying to hit turns, and when you would hit the turns, you were still going like 40 in the middle of the zone, not even caring about the speed limit. So I don't know if you got a driver's license or what, but it was rough. It was really rough. Break would have been your friend, and then you were trying to stay in. You didn't notice it was your exit, but that line, it cleared pretty quickly. Like, you didn't do much inside here. I feel like you probably could have laid a lot more, and your line was already right there, ready to clear. And that's important, because if you're thinking, how do I continue to survive this, you need to wait for your line to clear so you can push into the middle of the zone. But at your skill level, we really need to work on like consistency and culting and the mechanics of the game. So breaking, what's a safe hit or not, and good ping and good internet will help. I think you were a bit laggy this game too. So like hitting this wall and going out, we know that's a safe turn in Tron mechanics. You don't need to try to PT this corner. Maybe I should use a different color. You don't need to try to PT this corner. You can just hit your wall and go on out. So that's the takeaways from all of this review. You do not need to make perfect turns. You can wait and delay your turns. Look to set up as many safe turns as possible, and you don't need to go 50 miles an hour when you're playing TST. Honestly, the recommended speed limit is 30 miles an hour. So I wouldn't increase any of that. I see your kind of play style. You're pretty aggressive. You're pretty full sendy. That guy you killed almost every single round. So I would look to try for some different strats. You know, and then when it comes to setting up a box, I would work on that. I'd go into like sumo bar, just draw yourself into a box, like close yourself off in a space. There's even like servers for this where you're spawned into a box and you have to survive. I'll look at that and really, really, really get good at culting. Culting, it's an underrated mechanic, but at newer levels, like that should be your go-to mechanic whenever you're like, what do I do here? Cult. I use that all the time. So hopefully this helps you, and you know, word of encouragement at the end. You're doing great. You're new to the game, and you're putting a lot of effort in. So I like to see that be done. All jokes aside about the speed of your play. And good luck. Good luck in your next TST.